TPOT 9 releases tomorrow. Well, technically for me it releases on the 19th of December, since usually Jack and Jelly releases TPOT episodes around 9 PM CST, and here in India, 9 PM CST would literally be the very next day. Anyways, instead of making it short this time around, I'm gonna predict what happens in the episode, who is eliminated, and what team loses. A day or a couple hours before the episode releases. Yeah, I should have made this video a bit earlier. Up till TPOT 5, 2 has been the one to start the intro, but from TPOT 6 and beyond, other characters have begun to start the intro as well. Although I've noticed the pattern in which characters are the ones to start the intro. In TPOT 6, 4 is the one who starts the intro, and the thing is, 4 plays a huge role in that episode, trying to stop the strongest team on Earth from stealing food, and literally being the one responsible for the challenge. Yeah, 4 wasn't going to give 2 any food, so 2 made it a challenge to get food for himself. In TPOT 7, Basketball is the one who starts the intro. She plays a huge role in this episode, mainly with her arc with Robot Flower. She basically tries to get Robot Flower to act like regular Flower, but due to a power surge, Robot Flower just has Season 1 Flower's personality, and now because of that, she needs to find a way to either revert her back to normal, or to install the rest of Flower's personality into her. In TPOT 8, Donut is the one to start the intro. He doesn't really play a huge role in this episode, but there are scenes that are focused on him. For example, the scene where he gets his limbs removed, or the scene where him and Pin team up to take out Fanny. So with all that considered, the contestant I think will start the intro in TPOT 9 would be Winner. Winner would probably get the spotlight this episode, probably focusing on them having to get their team's acts back together after they lost twice in a row. And I'm guessing they'll start the intro by screaming at Yellowface or something? I don't know. TPOT 9's elimination is going to be a tough one. The votes were super close on both teams, so here's who I think will be eliminated on both teams. Starting off with Are You OK?, which was a battlefield during voting. I'm just going to get to who I think will be in the bottom two, those being Puffball and Golfball. Both are pretty great characters, but the person who I think would be eliminated is Puffball. Even though she's a great character, she's probably the next one out on Are You OK? Take this with a grain of salt though, because there may be a small chance Puffball might be safe, and someone else might be eliminated instead. As for teammates, this is going to be kind of complicated, but let's get into it. The first two safe are Donut and Gatey, who rightfully deserve their safety, especially Donut. From here on out, we are kind of in a pickle. Coiny, Pin, Needle, and Barfbag were all in a massive voting war, so I'll have to guess who's safe. Anyways, the next contestants I think will be safe is Pin, and also escaping the bottom two is Barfbag. Now it's down to Coiny and Needle. The person who I think will be eliminated is Needle. You may ask, why not Coiny? It's because that's what everyone is expecting. Voting results between Pin, Barfbag, Coiny, and Needle were very close, so the final votes may be inaccurate, and Needle might be eliminated instead. It's like how in BFB 22, some people thought Blocky was going to be eliminated, but in reality it was Taco who got the boot. So yeah, I think Needle will be eliminated. Moving on. First of all, I don't think the challenge will involve the volcano that Rocky's Barf went into. I think that will be subject to a future challenge, possibly the challenge in TPOT 10. However, the crack will probably grow a bit more. Anyways, I'm gonna guess what the challenge is, based off the teaser we got. In the teaser, we see Robot Flower and Grassy climbing Bell's Spring. So based off that teaser, I'm gonna guess the challenge involves the sky in some way. And this challenge would probably have a time limit, just like the challenges in TPOT 2, 3, and 6. Basically, I think the challenge would be to get as far off the ground as you can, and the two teams that are the lowest feet off the ground loses. Speaking of teams, every team has something going for it, so let's see what happens within the teams in TPOT 9. Starting off with Deathpact again, I think Marker will get a spotlight this episode, and he'll probably try to bring his team's friendship back together, since they're kinda divided. Fanny wants to win challenges, but doesn't want to prevent death, since it's a waste of time and cause them to lose. Black Hole, on the other hand, is solely focusing on preventing death, and Tree is either on his side, or he's in the neutral. I don't know. So Marker would probably try to prove to his team that they can both prevent death and win challenges at the same time. I also think Golfball is going to cut down Tree and use his wood as materials for her inventions. Next up, we have the strongest team on Earth. Let's get the obvious out of the way. Snowball carrying his team, the Basketball Robot Flower arc continues, and Grassy gets more development. I love how much development Grassy has been getting in the recent episodes. It's a shame Rocky didn't get the same treatment. Now, I think Belle will get a bit of the spotlight this episode, and she might become more involved in the Robot Flower arc. I think she'll maybe have a talk with Basketball about how to return Robot Flower to normal, and I think Grassy will try to stop Robot Flower from causing chaos this episode. Next up, we have DS. And as I said earlier, I think Winner will try to get the teams to act back together and try to help them win the challenge. DS as a whole is kind of a mess. They've lost 3 times. They actually lost twice in a row. Ice Cube has no legs, Yellowface is just being a menace, and Bottle, she's alright, it's just that she's too fragile. So I think Winner will try to properly lead the team with the help of Ice Cube. They'll probably also try to deal with Yellowface, who's been a complete menace for the last 2 episodes. Moving on to Are You OK? What I think would happen to the team in this episode is that Golf Ball would begin to have a rivalry with Pen and Eraser. Pen and Golf Ball already had some tensions in TPOT 5, and Eraser doesn't like following the rules. And I think Tennis Ball would just be in the middle of this, conflicted on what to do. He wants to side with his dear friend Golf Ball since he's been by her side for so long, but at the same time he also wants to side with Eraser and Pen. He'd probably talk to TV about this issue, wanting to know what he thinks. If the Golf Ball vs Pen and Eraser arc actually happens, then it would make for a great arc. And it could potentially give TV some development by having him give advice to Tennis Ball about how to deal with his situation. Next up is Just Not. I think Pillow will be up to her usual shenanigans in this episode, and I think Book would have the spotlight. I think Book would be focused on making sure Pillow isn't distracted on killing others, so she could actually help in the challenge. I don't really have anything else to say, so let's just move on to Teammates. Now, at first, I didn't know what to put for Teammates, but then I remembered that last episode, when Teardrop jumped into Barf Bag, it ended up making Barf Bag feel powerful. I feel like this aspect of Barf Bag would be focused on more in this episode, and I'm assuming Coney would be the one to experiment with Barf Bag by changing the type of liquid that's contained in her so that he can see how her mood shifts. I don't think Donut would do this because he would probably think that Barf Bag could change for the worst if the barf inside her is replaced with the wrong liquid, which could either make her arrogant and rude, or sad. Alright, that's a wrap for what I think will happen in each team. Hang on, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh right, I forgot about this little goober. I think Teardrop will just mess around with Eraser as per usual, and maybe she'll turn into a cloud again because of what I think the challenge is. Who knows? Let me just get this out of the way. I think Just Not and Are You OK will be the ones to lose in TPOT 9. Why, you may ask? Well, for Just Not, I think Pillow would blow up Balmy again so she could throw him at another team. But this time, the explosion would cause their entire team to fall to the ground, and by the time they get up, the challenge is over. And as for Are You OK? I think Golf Ball and Pen would get into a heated argument. And while they're distracted, Snowball and Grassy would team up to make the entirety of Are You OK fall to the ground. And when they tried to climb back up to their original spot, the timer would run out and they would have the second lowest score, causing them to be put up for elimination. Well, I mean, Belle, Grassy, and Robot Flower are in the teaser image, so I guess them, and maybe Winner too, since they haven't been in a thumbnail yet. Now, this is where I would end the video, but I have one last thing to say. Thank you all for the support on the last TPOT episode prediction video I made. I never expected to get everything right, well, almost everything right in that video, but here we are. Anyways, it's currently 12 AM as I'm recording this, so I need to finish this video and sleep. Bye!